All right, today I have bluebird skies and the wind is blowing incredibly hard. I'm talking about in some places there are 20-mile-per-hour gusts of wind. It's a washing machine out there. And I think it's causing a transitional period with the catfish because they're not biting. I've been to multiple spots and I haven't caught anything yet. So what I'm going to do the first review of the Okuma Catfish Slayer Rod, or Cat Slayer Rod. Uh-oh, I angered one of the birds. Now this is Okuma's new catfish rod right here. And the ones that I got, are medium heavy, which is kind of the first medium heavy catfish rod that Okuma has had in a long time. The Okuma Battle Cats, they were heavy rods. And I tell you what, this reminds me of the Okuma Battle Cat. Now let me show you me casting these out, just so you can see what it looks like. You can see the bend and stuff like that whenever I cast out. I highly doubt I'll catch anything in this cove. It's the best place I've found to hide from the wind. And these are big baits. It does cast them out really well. This one's got a dragon weight, so I'm just going to drop it straight down. And who knows, maybe I'll get a big old flathead while talking to you guys about these rods and reels. I did get 8 of them. Three of them for dragging, 4 of them for the bottom. And I may use 2 of the dragging rigs as bottom rigs because I like having 6 rods out. It's my other dragging rig. I may even drag those baits out of here just to show you this rod and reel dragging. It does really well. You can see big old bluegill, 4-ounce weight. Oh yeah, this one down. There we go, now they're uniform. I will say, it's growing on me. I thought at first that I wouldn't like these rods because they are thicker than most medium heavy rods that I've used in the past. It's got a thicker handle, thicker rod. You know, look how big that is. That is bigger than a dime thickness. And it still, the tip bends like a Battle Cat almost. It's a little bit more stiff on the tip than a Battle Cat, but it does have some give down here in the actual backbone, but not too much. A lot of medium heavies, or a few medium heavies that I've used, bend all the way down to your actual grip. This doesn't, which I like. I want a stiffer medium heavy rod to fish with, especially in the area I fish. I don't really need a heavy because I don't have Mississippi River current around here. The Tennessee River can have some good current from time to time, but it's not like the mighty Mississippi. And a medium heavy rod, especially a little bit stiffer one, can handle all the waterways in my area. Make excellent boat rods. And the EVA grip has been pretty useful as well. It definitely holds the rod better in the rod holder, which on the flip side, when a big fish has the rod torqued down, it's a little bit more difficult to get the EVA foam out than it is to get a cork. And in fact, I might actually be completely wrong. You know, I should research this stuff before I look it up, but technically, I mean, it might not be EVA foam. It's kind of a different type of grip. It still grips in the rod holder really well like EVA, and it doesn't crush like EVA. So it's a little bit harder, stiffer or whatever than your traditional EVA foam. Aluminum reel seat. I mean, if I ever go after, you know, 200, 300 pound tuna, there you go. A lot of people gripe about having non-metal seats on their catfish rods, but you know, I personally don't think you need it, but it does give you that extra confidence if you do feel you need the metal reel seat. And with these Okuma cold waters, they come with the clip, where I could clip it over the back of this to hold it on even better. I haven't really fooled with that with these because I want to replace these round cold waters with low profile cold waters at some point. But they seem to work good with this. The bigger handles do dwarf the reel a little bit. And that's another reason why I want to get the bigger cold water. Just, you know, so it looks cool. That's the number one thing that catches fishermen, is when your gear looks cool. Now, as you can see, I'm in bright sunlight right now, and these are clear as day. You can easily see these rods. At nighttime, you need a black light to see them really well, but even under a regular light, you would still be able to see the rods. The black light just makes them glow, as you can see in this picture of it on my boat at night. Now, I did focus both of my black lights onto those 3 rods. When I have them singled out trying to film, it doesn't look too good. I really do need to find some brighter black lights to permanently install on this boat to work with these rods. Something I could flip a switch on and then you can see all the rods. And I don't think something like that would make the, you know, the wildlife agency or the Coast Guard mad, because it's a black light, and if it's here aimed up, it's not going to blind anybody going down the river. Now, that will lead to me having videos that are mostly purple instead of, you know, having some color. But hey, it is what it is. If I want to do some, you know, nighttime fishing, their sacrifices have to be done on the filming side of things. Thankfully, like I said, a good black light will make these glow really well, and you will be able to see them really well. I have no idea when I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to have my dealership do it or if I will do it myself. If I do it myself, I might actually film that as another boat, you know, video. I did put in a fuse box in this boat myself, and I can use that fuse box to connect lights. Now, there was another concern that you guys were having with, you know, it being a medium heavy and dragging, and I haven't had a problem yet. I think they do really, really well with dragging, and I only drag like a ½ mile per hour to 0.7, you know, 0.75, 0.8 miles per hour, so I'm not dragging fast. And I kind of rarely drag in current. Dragging in current can be a nightmare sometimes. I just drag slowly in a cove like this, and it seems to handle it just fine, even with the planer boards. I will reference a video in the iCard above if you want to see me actually using these to catch fish on planer boards. And I will, since I'm probably not going to catch anything back here, reel these up, show you me reeling these up, and then just dragging the 2 on the outside just so you can see the bend. Anything to, you know, show you the rods a little bit better. Oh boy. Do I have a turtle? No, I caught the bottom. Had my drag out a little bit too much. But yeah. And now my trolling motor is going crazy. I mean, that's pretty good. See if I can make a thumbnail out of this when the trolling motor decides to behave. All right, there we go. Well, hopefully this will look good. Pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it. Oh, that just hurt my finger. Now, I haven't really caught anything too terribly big, except for that one that didn't get on video because for some reason I cut out the audio when I was editing it. And I don't know how I did that, and there's no way to fix that video. These were in the Smackdown rod holder, bank rod holders, and were doing really well. And it was, I don't know, 20-25 pound blue that grabbed it and absolutely smashed the rod, and that rod holder stayed in the ground really well. I just wished I had audio on that so I could have published the video. That was a mistake. Mistakes happen sometimes. I know it was recorded with audio because I edited the video and I exported it. The bad thing I didn't do was check the video when, you know, after I exported it to watch it to see, you know, if there was anything wrong. I didn't. I just straight up uploaded it and it had no audio. I've already had a couple of clients catch big fish with these, and all of the clients, the guests, the paying guests on my guide service, they have all loved these rods. Several of them said that they love the action of the rod when fighting a fish. A lot more than the Battle Cat on one of them, because he was on my boat using Battle Cats last time and we had caught a couple of good fish. Wow, this wind is pretty crazy. No wonder I'm not catching any fish today. I am catching salad. So if anything, my clients like the rods. And there's a major road behind us as well. I'm totally getting spun around by the wind too. Just got one more to reel in, and then I will drag out of here and see if it, you know, maybe you guys can get an idea of the rods. It'd be better to try them in person. So if you're interested in a guided fishing trip, not only will you get a ride in my fancy little boat here, and we get to have a little fun, and hopefully it won't be as windy when you book a trip, but you could book a trip so you could try out my rods, and who knows, maybe we'll get a trophy fish in the boat so you can have a trophy certificate in the Tennessee Angler Recognition Program. So check out my website, tnrvg.com. A lot of wind. There's so much wind, there's a sailboat having a lot of fun out in the main river. North feature. One. I am going a little fast right now. There's the other. They're about 70 feet out. That one's bending a little more than this one. Probably going through grass. In fact, it's skimming on the surface. We're going so fast. Which I'm going 2.1 miles per hour. Way, way too fast. Slow it down here. Still going 1 mile per hour. The wind will do that. Not bad. 0.7 miles per hour. 0.6, 0.7. And that's straight up dragging. I don't have planer boards on them. The planer boards would probably bend them a little bit more. But I think it's fine. It still has plenty of room to bend, as you saw earlier. And if you're using planer boards, it doesn't really matter on the bend because you have a big like loop in the line. So the line's going out to your planer board and then, you know, at an angle back to where the bait is. So when the fish grabs it, it's pulling that planer board towards you and setting the hook, hopefully setting the hook. From what I've seen so far, it's setting the hook good in these fish. In fact, it's setting the hook too good because it's been hard for me to get the hook back out of the fish on several fish so far. So they are doing incredibly good. And that's based on the limited experience so far that I have and not me being, you know, partnered with Okuma. I'm still going to give you my real world experience with the Cat Slayer rods. And every now and then I'm going to accidentally call them the Catfish Slayer rods. Now I really can't think of anything else to say. I don't know if I said it earlier. I will say it again if I didn't. I think they put the hook holder on the correct side because, let me grab one here. If you have, you know, your rods in a rod holder and you're wanting to move from one spot to another, this is going to be pointed down. So the bait, if you leave it on the hook, is going to be hanging right here instead of being like right here and being sloppily all over, you know, the side of the rod. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I think it's more cleaner to have it, you know, hanging down right here. I do know that a couple of my baits actually dried out while I was hunting around for a spot to film with no wind. So it will dry out the bait. That's normal when you're moving around if you leave the bait on the rod. I usually refresh the bait when I go from one spot to another. Anyway, I would like to know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Do you think these Okuma Cat Slayer rods are good rods? Let me know. I know it's hard to form any kind of opinion unless you have the rod in your hands. And I have them in my hands, and no matter what, I think they're good rods. They're worth it. Now I'm going to reel these up and head back to the ramp. Hopefully this wind will stop sometime this weekend and maybe I can catch a catfish. That would be really nice. As always, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch this video. I really, really appreciate it.